What up? What it do? It's your boy JDQ with Vision Audio TV. And in advance, I would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you to every single one of you guys who past week or week before it had blessed me with whether it be a comment or message, saying like happy birthday and stuff. I really do honestly appreciate it. There was even someone within the community who sent me a little gift, if you will, over I believe it was PayPal or Cash App, and I was very grateful for it. Um, but even if you just said happy birthday or like commented something or messaged me or whatever, either way, I really really appreciate it. So that's in advance. Second of all, if you are here on this stream with me, you could be anywhere else in the world. You could be doing anything else, but you've decided to be here with me, and that alone gives me chills. It makes me happy. It makes me feel butterflies. All those great things. So Kodiak, VS Veronica, William, and anyone else that is here with me tonight. In advance, I appreciate the love and support that every single one of you guys has shown me to this day. I mean, I know it's gonna sound like a broken record, but I really am overjoyed and grateful for anyone and everyone who ever decides to really like the streams and watch them throughout and just hang out with me and the team and all that. It really does mean a lot to me. And not only that, um, I think I already said something about this in one of the last streams or pre-recorded video, but I did mention uh, that I was going to be doing this more frequently soon. And I did put like a deadline for myself. I did say, I believe, somewhere between late September to early to mid October. I did mention that I was going to be on here a lot more. And when I say a lot more, I do mean like every single day. It's going to be like a constant or consistent approach that I will be taking on the channel. And it should go the same with the team as well. But the reason why that's going to be happening soon or very close, down the line is because, and this is something else I mentioned as well. Um, I am planning on, um, whether it be because I have to or I want to, either however you want to look at it, I will be stepping away from the current job that I have right now. Obviously, I'm not just gonna step away without planning, stuff in advance. That's kind of like why I say the deadline is around late September, uh, best case scenario, worst case scenario, early to mid October. Um, but yeah, that's coming soon. And one of the things to be expected within that process is your boy's gonna be out here. All right, he gonna be out here in the local area, doing the whole live game show, Bible trivia game show near me. Obviously, I'm not gonna say exactly where I reside. I'm not trying to dox myself or nothing like that. Not that it really matters, but you always gotta try to be a little private, right? Blessings and love to Lisa. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's one thing to look out for. Because I know some of you like really enjoyed having the Bible trivia game show. And I enjoyed doing it. I trust me. If you guys knew the fun that I have, giving away like cash prizes and all that, just for people to answer, simple basic Bible questions and blessing someone like that way, I enjoy it so much. And the thing is, I enjoy it so much to the point where I don't want to keep it just here on the channel itself. You know what I mean? I want to go out there and ask people around me, these Bible questions, Bible trivia questions, and just be like, hey, you got it right. You got $1 or whatever. Oh, hey, you got it right. You got $5. Hey, you got it right. You won $100. If I could do that like on I mean, ideally, I would love to do it on a daily basis, but I know realistically that probably won't be the case. I'll probably do it every 2 or 3 days in between just to give myself a breather. And obviously, I would probably like record some of those moments to then edit it and then like upload it and what do you call it, like smaller clips and just upload them to the channel. But that is coming soon. Um, and in order for me to do that effectively, obviously there needs to be capital money to kind of like play around with. And when I say play around, I just mean be able to use as a way of blessing others forward. You know what I mean? So that's the plan, and that's one of the things that you guys should be expecting, right? The other thing is there is going to be a lot more podcast episodes more frequently. If you've noticed, we haven't really had like a serious podcast episode in months, if not maybe a year or something like that. And the reason behind it is that I'm someone who I try to kind of like put topics, or I have put topics in the group chat in order for the team and myself to prepare ourselves in advance. That way we can talk about the podcast topic more effectively and communicate our opinions, communicate information a lot better, a lot more effectively. And it's not just kind of like opinion based, but more like information based. And because of that, because I've tried to keep it to that standard, it's only caused delays because within that time lapse of us trying to prepare ourselves for those podcast episodes, I have two people within the team that not only work full-time jobs, but they like one of them works overtime. Then he has like a family to tend to. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And then of course Kiko, he has like his life that he tries to tend to as well. So it's not like sure I can count on them. For the most part, they're here when they can be. Matter of fact, there's sometimes they get a little. They don't get mad at me, but they're like, hey man, like how come you like went on for like a chill stream and you didn't like let us know, you didn't tell us nothing, so I appreciate their enthusiasm to want to be here. But at the same time, though, I know that they have their worlds to tend to, and I'm not the only thing that they need to tend to or this channel. So I try to keep that in mind, and I try to be as understanding and as what's the word? Try to be as respectful as to the time as I can, or considerate. So that's also something to look forward to, though. Like there will be more time. There will be more time for us to prepare for those serious, long format podcast episodes where we talk about specific topics, and we're not really like bouncing around too much. Because the thing is, if you guys have noticed, within chill streams or team streams, sometimes there will be topics listed within the stream, but sometimes, whether it be me or Kiko or Jay, we'll add like an extra topic out of nowhere, and it'll be like freehand. And although it's nice to have like an organic conversation that way, sometimes we steer a little too far away from the topics at hand. And so, with the podcast episodes, it's a lot more direct, it's a lot more specific, it's a lot more like tailor made to talk about extremely just those topics alone and nothing else. So, yeah, let me read some of the comments that you guys have been sending my way. Let's see. Yeah, it's funny. Man, you video called on Instagram a few days ago, and I was tending to Pops. I was giving him like a full body massage. Some of y'all know the situation with my father. He's going through a lot medically and physically, and we do what we can around the house to help him out. Especially like me, I do what I can. I'm not an expert masseuse or nothing like that, but years ago I did go with him to take massage therapy classes, and although I'm not certified, I have the knowledge over here. So I try to use that knowledge for his benefit. So when he has those days where he's hurting a little more extra, and his nervous system is out of whack or whatever, I do what I can with the knowledge I gained with him going to those classes to help him in his situation. But so I'm sorry that I was not able to like answer your call when you called. I felt terrible, and I know I messaged you back and I asked if everything was okay, but that happened. Um, not my due to wait what? I don't know why you're not modded. I thought you were, and I don't mind you being modded at all because I don't. Here's the thing, guys, and here's the beauty of JDQ, and this is something that even people that I'm working with right now currently, they can attest to, and they can back me up on. Is I don't. You don't have to agree with me on everything. Matter of fact, you don't have to agree with me at all on anything. Um, we can have completely different worldviews. We can have completely different views on life. And I personally, for the most part, um, I get along with everyone. And while everyone might not get along with me or might like have me in a weird, area in their life where it's like, well, he's weird and because he thinks this way and he thinks about this and he believes in that and all this other stuff. I know that to be true, and that's okay. And I don't mind that. But just because we defer on opinions or ideas or whatever, that doesn't mean I'm gonna have any problems with you or I'm gonna treat you any different, nothing like that. Um, but yeah, let me go back here. I see Bryden is here. What's going on, Bryden? God bless you. Blessings and love to you and your family. Um, who else? So I just modded Kodiak. Referring to your last comment. Prayers. Oh yes. Wait. What? Really? I did not. How come you didn't tell me this earlier or sooner, Tracy? Because I know she was probably going through some stuff at the time of you letting us know and asked us to pray for her. But I didn't know that. Let's take a moment real quick to say a prayer. Now, do me a favor, Tracy, because I'm extremely forgetful with names, especially if I don't talk to the person on a daily. If you could do me a huge flavor, I was gonna say huge flavor now, a huge favor, and type in your mom's name, her first name, in the live chat. That way, I can present her in prayer properly. I'll appreciate it. If that's too private and you don't want to put her name out there, I'll respect that. Just let me know in the comment, like in the live chat area. But if it's okay for you to like put her name in there, just for us to pray for her, uh, you know, correctly, like informally, then that would be great. Um, Easton Brandon, amazing. Wouldn't spay. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Yes, I still someone's over to like as wait what? He's a great. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Kodiak. Um, Betty. Okay. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pray in Spanish only because there's no real specific reason. It's just sometimes I can communicate my thoughts. I said sometimes, not always. I can communicate my thoughts a little better in Spanish. But if you are here and live and you are of the faith, right? If you're a brother or sister in Christ and you believe that God can still do miracles and he still does miracles and he has all the power, then join me in prayer in your preferred language. It can be English or whatever you speak fluently in. Uh, so we're gonna bow our heads real quick. We're gonna pray for Betty, um, and we're gonna lift her up in prayer right now. Okay. All right. Amantísimo Dios y Padre Celestial, antes de comenzar a orar por Betty, te pido, mi Dios, que tú primeramente me perdones a mí, limpie cualquier pecado que quizás posiblemente esté en el medio de tú, poder escucharme, escuchar mi voz, oír mi oración, escuchar mi clamor, Padre. Te pido en esta hora, antes que nada, que tú remuevas cualquier obstáculo, cualquier pecado, cualquier cosa que puede ser que esté impidiendo que el canal de comunicación entre yo y tú y yo, haya distorsión, Padre. Eso es lo primero que te voy a pedir, que tú limpies el canal de comunicación entre tú y yo y tú. Eso te pido por eso primero. Te pido, mi Dios, en esta hora también. En esta hora, Padre, tú conoces el cuerpo de Betty. Tú conoces las cosas que el cuerpo suyo esté presenciando, esté sintiendo, Padre. Tú eres el que conoce cada parte del cuerpo humano. Tú eres el que conoce cómo bendecir, cómo limpiar, cómo moldear, cómo arreglar y sanar nuestro cuerpo, Padre Celestial. Tú conoces todas las cosas que estén afectadas para mal en el cuerpo de Betty. Así que te pido, Padre, que tú eres el autor, tú eres el creador de nuestro cuerpo, del ser humano. Te pedimos como un pueblo, como un solo equipo en esta hora, una familia, mi Dios, que es este canal. Nosotros no solamente creemos en ti, sino que sabemos que tú eres real, sabemos que tú tienes el control de todo, tienes la última palabra, tienes el poder, tienes toda la autoridad para sanar el cuerpo de Betty, Padre. Conocemos que, Señor, tú haces como tú quieras, conocemos que, ¿verdad? Nosotros no te podemos utilizar como un genio de la lámpara mágica, porque no es por magia, sino por tu poder y autoridad. Sí, entendemos que tú haces como tú quieres, Padre, pero te pedimos, mi Dios, que en el nombre de Jesús, si está en tu perfecta y divina voluntad, sanar a Betty, te pedimos, creyendo y confiando en ti, mi Dios, te pedimos que tú la sanes, Padre. Si está en tus propósitos hacerlo y solamente está esperando a un pueblo que clame y pida por su salud y su sanidad, nosotros en estos momentos estamos actuando por fe como ese pueblo, Padre, clamando con fe, mi Dios, de que tú sanes su cuerpo. Oh Jehová, tú sanes cada parte de su cuerpo en esta hora, su cerebro, su corazón, todo. Que esté mi Padre Celestial, todo vital en perfección en su cuerpo, Padre. Y te pedimos estas cosas creyendo y confiando en ti, sabiendo que, vuelvo y digo, tú tienes la última palabra, tú eres el de la autoridad, tú eres el que puede sanar. Y pues, vuelvo y digo, si estás esperando a solamente una persona o más para, para que seamos alguien que esté intermedido entre tú, el milagro que tú vas a hacer en ella, Padre, te lo pedimos como ese pueblo que has estado esperando, mi Dios. Te pedimos todas estas cosas por fe, creyendo y declarándolo una realidad en el cuerpo de ella, en la vida de ella, Padre. Haz el milagro para que ella pueda testificar de tu grandeza, de que tú eres un Dios real, tú eres un Dios lleno de poder y vivo, y que todavía haces milagros, Padre. En el nombre poderoso, eterno de Jesucristo, te pedimos estas cosas, creyendo, confiando en ti, y declarándolo hecho para tu gloria y tu exaltación, Padre, en el nombre de Jesús. Amén, amén y amén. All right. So I do apologize about that. But yes, amen, amen, amen. I'm reading some of the comments, so I apologize in advance if I take a while to to reach the bottom of the live chat feed. No what. I was just praying, okay. Oh man, that's funny. I miss the way people talk in Ireland as here in Scotland. Some talking like they got a size in them. I was the talking so fast. I appreciate that. Kodiak, it will be best thing once you move as big walls used away from the areas that are likely. Um, oh shucks, I don't know. You're gonna make me cry. So hold on. Let me wipe my tears. My eyes because I'm not supposed to be crying over here. But I appreciate those words. I think I don't know. I mean, like obviously, I'm grateful for those words. I just don't know how to act. But anyways, never met my grand mm, as the over border. Okay, sorry I'm sorry I put that on the screen. My bad. We from opposite sides, but united. All right, all right. So, who is Carlos? Carlos, don't give up, bro. You're going to be. I don't know who you are, but I received those words not because I'm wanting to be big or nothing like that, but the fact that I know this channel will serve a higher purpose at some point. Um, in that sense, I do accept and receive those words. So thank you, Carlos. I appreciate those words, man. And obviously, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. Like the video up, share it forward, all that good stuff. But anyways, sorry about that. I have a few rants that I want to share with you guys today. And then I also have a few topics that I want to touch because, as we all know, sadly, sadly, and again, sadly, winter approaches. And there's many great things about winter. I love the winter. I love the cold. If I could live in a place like Greenland or Iceland or one of those places, heck, some places of Alaska, you know what I'm saying, where the cold is just kind of like year round almost. I love the cold. I love the winter. I love the low temperatures. I love wearing my Just Don't Quit hoodies, which are available at JDQ Just Don't Quit on Teespring. But what I don't like is the fact that sadly, the best time of the year for me, as far as like seasonal and like the how some people would say the vibes, are a lot more peaceful and friendly and all this other stuff. Um, what I don't like is the fact that within all those great things that the winter has to offer, sadly, Halloween is around the corner. Now, I have never in my life, not even once, not even out of curiosity, not even out of like as a child, you see your friends doing it. Not once was I like, how come we don't celebrate Halloween? Never, never, not once. I was never interested. I didn't care for it. It never drew my attention. It never drew it was just like one of those. It's the same thing with drugs. It never caught my attention. I saw other people do it. I didn't care for it. It was dumb to me. Didn't make any sense. But one of the many reasons of why I've never celebrated, nor will I ever celebrate it, is because not only was I informed at a very young age what Halloween is truly about, But on top of that, over the years, I've done my own personal research, my own private personal research, and it's just something that I not only do I not care to celebrate, but I would actually warn others against. You know what I mean? Um, and I know I will say this in advance. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, and I'm probably gonna get like messages, whether it be like through the DMs or comments on this video or whatever. People are gonna say, "Hey man, um, it's all good, it's all fun, it's just dressing up as your favorite character and just asking for candy and that's it." Listen, man, if you only knew, what really I think what really bothers me. It's not so much the people that are ignorant about what goes on. It's the people that have some knowledge about what goes on or what has gone on, and still think that, oh, that was like back then, but now, you know, it's all good. Like there's no need to like bash it like that because those things don't happen anymore. Those are the people that irritate me because it's like, let me get this straight, man. So there's knowledge. You have the knowledge that this really did happen. How children were kidnapped or have been kidnapped or are kidnapped throughout that holiday. Animals are found dead. Things are found not right, whether it be on the week of Halloween or the night of Halloween, the night before Halloween, the night after Halloween, and like people turn a blind eye to it, and I'm just like, y'all see that there's a pattern here, right? Y'all see how this is like a routine that it has been going on for decades, if not centuries, right? But no, because for them they don't do those things, it's okay to celebrate it. Because they don't commit those crimes, it's okay for them. I'm like, you know, you're trying to turn a blind eye to it, and you're doing your own thing. You have your own little like whatever, your own little party at your house, and because you're doing it in a safe way, in a safe environment, and nothing weird is going on, you don't understand that the very fact that you're taking that day or you're making it to a point where that day you're celebrating it in some way, shape, or form. You have a party, you have a dance, you've got, what I'm saying, some type of like gathering at your house or somewhere. The very fact that you're doing any of that on that specific day, it is automatically a correlation of you celebrating the other thing, even if you don't even know that you're doing it. You know what I mean? It's like saying I've struggled with finding like a good comparison or whatever, but I guess like the best way to explain it is like, let's say it was my birthday tomorrow, right? Right, and I'm an evil guy, right? Let's say for example's sake, I'm an evil guy. I've been known to commit crimes. I've been known to you know I don't know, whatever crime you could think of. Let's just say for this example, let's say I've committed those crimes, right? And it's my birthday tomorrow, right? And let's say I'm locked up. Let's say I'm in jail. And then come tomorrow, you, right? You start putting up balloons with my face on them. You start, putting decorations around your house with my face on them, right? And you're doing all these things. You're decorating your house. You're decorating your living room. You're decorating your backyard with like my name or my face on, right? And you might not even know me. You might not know me. You don't even know what I did. You don't know my name. You don't know any of that. You know, but you're having a party in my honor because you have decorations of my face on them. You have in some way, shape, or form decorated your house to celebrate my resemblance, like my face or my name or whatever, and you don't even know me. Yet at the same time, you're part. I don't know why partying. I don't know why it took me so long to say that. You're partying in my name though, without even having to know who I am, without even know what my name is. But you decided to just like decorate your house with like my face on it, and I mean, that's the only way I can really think of like at the moment to like explain it. Is like, sure, you're not celebrating the fact that I committed the crimes I've committed, but yet you're partying and you're having a good time with decorations of my face, like with my face on them. You know what I mean? I know there's got to be a better way to explain it, but as of right now, I'll stick with that. Um, but anyways, yeah, um, that is around the corner. Uh, the All Saints Day was a Celtic origin before that. Also, yeah, it is. It really is. And see, that's the thing, though. It's like people think that because over here in America, that's not the way they celebrate it, and they rebranded it as something else. It's automatically okay. No, you're still you're still celebrating the roots of, the origins of, though that pagan holiday. I don't care. Like, listen to me. I don't care if you tell me, oh, but JDQ, that's not the way I celebrate it, or that's not why I celebrate it. I don't even know what Celtic is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know or not. Well, again, I'm just trying to make it very clear. The fact that you are joining in on that same exact day to celebrate anything in any way, shape, or form, especially if you're decorating your house, decorating your place with anything that has any correlation to that, then you're automatically celebrating it. I don't know how some people have a hard time understanding that. I really don't. Because I know people want to they want to like feel innocent. They want to feel like they're not doing nothing wrong. They want to feel like they're just having a good time just to have a good time, right? Because they like spooky things and they like, you know what I'm saying? Which is another thing, man. Like anyone like in the right mind, and I'll excuse myself in advance with people who are like touchy feely with their emotions and all that. But with all due respect, as everyone deserves to have, right? If you're someone who is into like skulls and skeletons and ghouls and goblins and vampires, and I'm talking about like people who are like really really into it, people who like just eat it up, just they just love that stuff, right? To some extent there's something psychologically wrong with you, all right? And again, I'm saying in advance, I apologize if that hurts your feelings, but truthfully, in an average person with a normal way of thinking, a normal outlook on the world, you know, no one on an average enjoys or loves skulls and like bones and all this gruesome stuff. It's anyone who likes that stuff is because they probably grew up, like with a parent who's like really into it or whatever, or maybe the movies that they watched had a lot of influence and all that. But like in reality, it's not normal to be a fan of death, because that's the thing. When you're a fan of like skulls and like blood and vampirism and monsters and this and that and skeletons, like in some way, shape, or form, what you're telling me is you're a fan of death. You're a fan of evil. You're a fan of all these things that should not be cherished in that way. Um, And sure, I'm not the authority of how and what you like and all that. You could like whatever you want. But the thing is, what you like and what you're obsessed with says a lot about you. And what I'm saying is, when you're someone who's extremely into those things, you're telling me by being a fan of those things, what you're telling me is you love, death, you love anything to do with like rituals, you're into anything to do with like monster, terror, horror, and these are not normal things to be a fan of. Throughout time, whether it be through television, movies, music, or any type of like media, they've made it like normal. They've normalized it. Sure, they've normalized it. But let me tell you, if you were to go back in the 1950s or like even way before that, and you were to like openly say like, hey, I'm a fan of like uh, skulls and detached body parts and this and that, I could assure you, people would look at you like really weird, like, and would probably tell you like, "Hey, you need to get yourself checked out mentally because that's not normal." And it still holds true to this day. The fact that, in a general sense, man, like the human race has been conditioned and everything has been commonplace, because it's the season to be okay with that kind of thing. And people have been desensitized to these topics and to these visuals and this imagery. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's weird and it's not normal. You know what I mean? Again, it's just not normal. um and if I gotta apologize again, I apologize again in advance. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. I'm not trying to tell anyone that they're insane. I'm not trying to tell anyone that they're like crazy or whatever for liking that stuff. But in reality, it's kind of like, I know there's a phrase for it, but it's kind of like show me like who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are type of scenario. Or like you are what you eat. There's different phrases that correlate with those phrases, which is pretty much like show me what you're into and I'll like tell you like where your mind's at or where your heart is at. um there's even a biblical uh excuse me, there's a biblical verse. I can't remember right away right now, but it's something along those lines too. You know what I mean? All I'm gonna say in advance is starting soon. I don't know if probably like on the last days of September or like the early days of October. What I'm going to be doing is probably sharing a lot of information about that holiday and why I personally don't celebrate it and why I think people should reconsider celebrating it at all. Um, you know, and hopefully, hey, like I'm not even here to convince anybody, but I am here to bring information that will confront you and, stimulate your brain, stimulate your heart, and, challenge you to question yourself. Like, should I be celebrating a holiday that, like it has its origins and this and that? I'll let y'all like, I'll let everyone who watches that type of content come to their own conclusion. But yeah, if I can bring some information to the table regarding why I believe, in my opinion, through information that's been found over, what I'm saying, decades and centuries of investigation, should reconsider, then so be it. But yeah, so that's one of the things that's coming up soon on the channel. And like I said, it could range anywhere between late September to early October, just to because I already see here. I'm gonna show you guys kind of like why I am talking about this, and then you kind of like see a little bit of like why. All right. So this is. Let me see if y'all can see it. let me do this. Boom. All right. So look at this headline. All right. In the this is the entertainment section of Google, um, and movies or whatever. Right. It says The Nun 2 scares up to 32.6 million at the box office, takes down Equalizer 3 for number one. Um, I don't even know if I'm gonna be allowed to like show the preview. So here, I'm gonna. All right. So let's read what this movie is about. We're gonna read a little bit of what it's about, and I'm gonna try to do my best to like look a little bit more in depth about what the movie's about. But for now, we'll read some of this, and I'll let y'all, you know what I'm saying, make up your own minds if you or anyone should be like watching this movie. All right. The Nun 2 brings the demonic villain back into the Conjuring world. Having survived an encounter with the unholy Valak, Sister Irene is called in for a rematch in the Conjuring sequel, The Nun 2. Like many horrors before it, bad reviews didn't scare off moviegoers from buying tickets for The Nun 2. Oops, didn't mean to open that. The sequel to the 2018 hit topped the box office in its first weekend in North America theaters, earning an estimated $32.66 million. Let me just say this, man. Um, like, why? Why is evil, demonic stuff earning any type of money? Can someone please tell me why? Why are people so obsessed with evil, with the paranormal, and the? But the thing is, hold on, let me finish. They're obsessed with, and they love and crave, right? Terror, horror, spooky stuff, right? Demonic stuff, right? But then they'll that same person who's into all of that and just craves it, right? Craves it. They'll turn their head and be like, but God doesn't exist. But Jesus is fake. But you know, Christianity is not real. It's not true. But they're the same type of person who's extremely obsessed with this stuff. I don't think any demonic movie should gain any type of attention at all. I'm talking about at all. Zero, zip, nada, zitch, nothing. But here we are. I mean, look at this. Apparently, right now, as of right now, Nun 2 took up the number one spot, surpassing, was it the Equalizer? Uh, go back up. Yeah, they took they surpassed the Equalizer 3. Anyways, let's keep reading. USA Today's Brian Truitt called it a major improvement on the first Nun, but ranked it fifth of the 9 Conjuring movies, and audiences gave it a C plus on Cinema Score. It hardly matters. Horror, look at this, yo. Horror is perhaps the most reliably critic-proof genre, at least when it comes to opening weekend. Why though? Why? And let me just say, I know a few people. I know personally a few people who are huge horror fans. I'm talking about they are encyclopedias of horror movies and all this stuff. And I'm like, but why? Oh, because they like a good scare. Oh, they like a good mystery. Oh, they like to be, they like the challenge of like not jumping at a jump scare type movie. Oh, they like a good, trying to solve like, who done it and all that. Yeah, but why? Again, there's something wrong with you mentally when you are like obsessed. Because it's a thing to like be okay with watching them, and it's another thing to like be a diehard fan of these things, man. I cannot get behind it. Let me tell y'all this: if that's a huge if and whenever I see like a horror movie or something like that, it's like to study it. That's it. And when I see a study, I'm like, all right, let me see like where they're using like some symbology or like satanic symbology or whatever. Let me see how many subliminal messages they're trying to get people with, and I study and analyze the movie that way. But I don't watch a horror movie because I'm a fan of it. I don't watch a terror or horror film because I like it. That kind of film disgusts me. Like anything to do with like horror or like scary and it's not because I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 35-year-old man now. I understand that it's a movie. I understand that it's entertainment. So no, it's not because it scares me. It's just disgusting. You know how many movies I've seen where I've had to like really do like a major eye roll because they're trying to make some of these like types of killings normal with axes, with knives, with uh hammers. I've seen clips of someone just getting destroyed with a hammer. And I'm like, and people are okay with this. People like enjoy this, seeing blood everywhere and all that. But like again, you know what? I don't care this time. I don't care if it hurts your feelings. If you're into the type of movie that promotes violence, that promotes blood, gore, all these things, there's something mentally wrong with you. Period. I don't care what you gotta say. I don't care if you tell me, oh, okay, so if it's like that, then I don't care what you gotta say. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? There's things that are normal, and there's things that are diehard evidence and proof that something is not right mentally with you when you are a diehard fan of those things. That's just the way it is. And I at this point, I don't care. Like I apologize as a person who I don't like disrespecting people, sure, but I don't care at this point. If you are offended that I'm giving you a heads up that something's wrong with you, if you're like into that kind of thing, because I'm trying to look out for you, hey, that's on you. I'm trying to give you a heads up. I'm trying to tell you right now that if you're a fan of that stuff, if you are a diehard fan of that stuff and you're obsessed with it and you just crave it and you can't wait to watch horror movies, you can't wait to do this and that and watch blood and gore and all that, and you don't want to take my advice and me telling you, hey, maybe you should get yourself checked out psychologically because that's not normal. You know what I mean? Then that's all on you. But um, yeah. All right. Let's see what else the article has to say. Um, the Michael Graves directed sequel starring Taissa Farmiga and Storm Reed fell far short of the debut for the first film, 50 through 53.8 million, but it's still a solid launch. The Nun movies are part of the so-called Conjuring universe, which has 2.1 billion in box office. The sequel also played well internationally, picking up 52.7 million from 69 markets, Mexico being the strongest with 8.9 million, and boosting its global debut to 85.3 million. Horror preview: peep these 20 new scary movies for Halloween from the Nun. Excuse me. Exorcist Believer. This is another one. Like, yo, I don't know if anyone has seen the trailer for Exorcist Believer, but y'all gonna have to excuse me because I'm trying really hard not to cry on live right now. If anyone has seen the trailer to that um, new movie, Exorcist, the Believer or whatever, it is so frustrating and it is so disgusting. to see how, like, as clear as day, they're kind of like showing us, you know, kind of like what would be commonplace in the satanic world, basically. I think that the new Exorcist movie has to do with like two girls getting like demonically possessed, two little girls, bro. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: when you watch these movies, um, this is one of those things where it's like, um, I I don't care if it doesn't matter if anyone believes what I'm about to say or not. It doesn't matter. It still remains true. Um, and the problem is that because the person doesn't experience any strong dramatic changes in their life or in their mind or in their body, that's what keeps them kind of like sedated and being like, oh, see, it's not real. See, it doesn't work. See, these are all lies. Um, but when you watch these movies, yo, and you're not watching them with the right mindset, you are opening doors in your soul, your spirit, your mind. You're giving the devil, you're giving the enemy access to your soul. You're giving him permission and access into your life in some way, shape, or form. You know, whether it be in your thoughts, whether it be in your body, whether it be in your heart, whatever. And the thing is, people who used to be people like I forget his name now, but I think something Ramirez or something like that. Um, who used to be in the occult and have come to Christ and are preaching against it. They tell you, hey, like it doesn't. You don't have to feel anything for it to be real. You don't have to like feel anything for it to be true or not. The fact that by watching these movies, you are giving the enemy access into your life in some way, shape, or form, it still holds true. You know what I mean? And that's like the beauty of it in a sense. And when I say beauty, I don't mean it in a good way. It's a beauty for them, for the enemy, because it's like because people don't feel anything, they don't feel like they're possessed, they don't feel like they're, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not being oppressed in some way, shape, or form. It's like, oh, see, nothing happened. I'm okay. See, like I'm not blah 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 blah. It just because that's the case, they just continuously open doors and open doors and open doors, and they keep getting bombarded subconsciously, and they keep getting like sent these like demonic spirits, demonic strongholds, demonic, just powers. And when I say powers, I mean like chains over their lives, over and over and over again. You know, yeah, you welcome them in. Only thing is, it's not there was so many bombs. I just knew this. Yeah, and the thing is, people embrace them because it's a jump scare movie. It's because they like to be challenged. They like a good scare. If you want a good scare, go skydiving. How about that? If you want a good scare, go to like the highest roller coaster. If you want a good scare, go to the fastest roller coaster. If you want to get scared, do scuba diving. If you want to get scared, there's so many other things you can experience that will cause you straight up fear into your soul that has nothing to do with watching demonic possession type movies. I mean, it's just as simple as that. What is the obsession of like watching blood and gore? What is the obsession of watching people getting demonically possessed? What is it? Apparently, real rituals in that new Jack Parsons show. Oh, hold on. For a second there, I forgot. what you're talking about, but hold on. Is that on Netflix or uh, what's the name of it? What's the name of that show? Let me know. Think of it this way. Post. Yeah, they really do. And see, the more people don't believe that that's the case, the more people are okay with watching this stuff and glorifying it and giving it room into their life and allowing it to like consume their time. And here's the thing, yo, like here is and this I don't know. Listen, I'm not even could you imagine if I was even on fire for the Lord right now? Okay, strange angel. Okay, I'll look into it in a second. But here's the thing. People, and I've said this before, and I will, you know what? I will continue to say it. I will continue to say it to the camera so that you understand. People have the audacity. People have the audacity to say, "Oh, God's not real. Oh, the Jesus thing never happened. Oh, the crucifixion never happened. Oh, the Bible's fake. Oh, the Bible's been manipulated over the years. Oh, God's not real. This and that. If God's real, then why isn't He helping? The world." Let me see if I can explain this extremely simple because that's the way I love things being explained to me. None of this nonsense of beating around the bush. The people of the world as a whole, as a collective, the majority, they are against God. They run away from God. They try to ignore God. They try to do their own thing without God. Why is God gonna go against his own beliefs and do anything for anyone when the majority of mankind wants nothing to do with him? That wouldn't make sense at all. So, how dare you? How dare what type of audacity you have to try, first of all, to try and call out like, oh, if he was real, then why isn't he doing blah 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 blah? You know the amount of audacity you have to have like to even question something like that. And let me just say this: people will say, "Oh, America is a Christian nation." No, it's not. Let me just stop you right there, yo. Sadly, the United States of America is not, and it has not been a truly, genuinely Christian country, if not for decades, for centuries. You want to know why? Well, let me explain to you. The founding fathers of this nation, okay, go back, George Washington, all those days, even before that, they themselves were masquerading as Christians, but they weren't Christians. They masqueraded as believers, but they weren't believers. They needed to masquerade so that they can, behind closed doors, plan the downfall of this nation. You know, you can go throughout history, and there's a reason why certain laws were put in place that later would cause little by little the downfall of this nation. The moment Bibles and prayers were taken out of schools, that alone, that alone caused one of the biggest hits to the downside of this nation. towards its downfall. And the crazy thing is, the prayer, it was like, it wasn't even like a straight up, like straightforward prayer as you would expect. It was pretty neutral. It was just asking for blessings and protection over the kids and the teachers and all that. Like, why would you take something like that away? Oh, because that person might get offended because they don't believe in Jesus. They're not even mentioning Jesus. They're not even mentioning Jehovah. They're not even mentioning anyone in Christianity. They're just praying to a higher power for protection and blessing amongst the kids and the teachers. Yet taking that out of the schools from that point up until now, the downfall of the mental health of kids, the mental health of the teachers and all that, a lot more school shootings started to happen. A bunch of stuff started happening left and right the moment that was taken out of the schools. When are people gonna like wake up? When are people going to understand that this has not been a Christian nation for a very long time? And so, how dare you? How dare you say, "Oh, if God was real, then why didn't He do this or why didn't He do that? Why doesn't He, help here and why doesn't He, you know?" You don't get to ask God that. You don't get to ask that type of question because, no, for starters, you yourself don't believe in Him. That's number one. Number two, the majority of people on this earth are trying to live their life as far away from God as possible. God is a gentleman. He does not intrude anyone. He does not force himself on anyone. He comes to those who welcome him in. And people will have the audacity, oh, why doesn't he do this? Why doesn't he do that? You don't get to say that, yo. You don't get to say that. You don't. And if you're someone who does say that, right now, like if I see you in person, like if we have a conversation and you utter those words, I might just blurt like, yo, shut up. And I wouldn't do it to disrespect you. I would be doing it out of pure, genuine, like just kind of like disbelief that someone would utter those words. Because again, for the most part, people who act that way and say those things are the first ones that say, "Oh, I don't believe in God. Oh, I don't believe in you." Okay, so you don't get to talk. Shut up. Shut up. You don't get to say anything. You don't get to complain. You really don't. Don't complain. A lot of people tell me about politics. Oh, you know, JDQ or Jorge, yeah, man, you don't get to talk about politics because you don't vote. I'm okay with that. I don't care to talk about politics. Unless someone asks me for my opinion, I don't talk about politics. The moment someone asks me, I blurt everything that I think and have an opinion on. But I don't talk about politics. So it's only fair that if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in Jesus, you don't believe in the Bible, you don't believe in the gospel, then don't bring it up. You don't get to bring it up. You don't get to complain that God's not doing this or that. You don't get to complain about any of it. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. I apologize. Okay. Um, my bad. I didn't mean to go on that little rant, but it just happened. Let me go back here. Okay, so Strange Angel. Let me just look for it over here. What the heck? Is it a show? Because I see that it's been canceled or whatever. Um, I guess it's one of these. I don't know. It's so weird. Because like whatever. I'll pull this tab up. I guess. All right. So I pulled up a tab. See, hopefully we can talk about it. Plus they made him out look like a guy hanging out with Crowley. Oh, wait, that's the other thing. Hold on. Let me just say this. Let me just say this. My bad. Hold on. All right. I guess the rant button is back on. All right. So the same people who like, oh, God's fake or God's not real or and that's religion and blah blah blah. Nigga, you believe in a bigger religion. I don't believe in religion at all. All I have is faith in God and I follow Christ and that's it. But my friend, you who are extremely into, how do I put this, scientism, you have the biggest religion of them all. Because the moment a person puts a white robe on and says, oh, I got a PhD in this, you like drink up their saliva as they speak as if it was like food to your like soul. Like it's amazing. It's amazing how people will critique and argue like, oh, pastors are just, blah, 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 blah. And people believe in pastors and people believe in this and that. Oh, no, but don't touch the topic on the PhDs and the doctors and the scientists that, as soon as they put a white robe on and say, oh, I'm a scientist, they're hanging at their every letter and word and they're just like, they're there like this. Oh, okay, that that's how that works. Oh, that's what you found using your telescope, even though when everyone else uses the telescope, that's not what they see. Oh, okay. Oh, you built that to go somewhere but that no one else is like allowed to go to. But it's like, bro. But if you tell them that they believe in religion, they get offended. Oh, it's not religion. That's information. That's science. Nah, my nigga. You know what science? Observable, testable, repeatable gathering of information. That's science. What you believe in, when you just put like your full attention and your full belief on someone with a science coat, it's just you're allowing yourself to be indoctrinated without you yourself testing things out. I challenge my faith all the time, my friend. I challenge my faith all the time, almost every single day in some way, shape, or form. You just blindly trust whatever's told to you by these lab coats. That's all you do is like, oh, okay. Oh, he said that, so it must be right. Oh, he did the math, so that's all you do. Oh, but don't tell that person that they're in a religion. No, don't tell them that. Good Lord. 90% of the world religions are false, honestly. They are there to distract and take away from the truth. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Scientology got hung out with him too. Yep. All Masons. Well, we got Ryan with NB in the house. What's going on, Ryan? I hope you're doing better than last time. I hope you've been strengthened, and I hope that you're feeling like yourself. I hope you're hanging in there. I hope your family has been doing well. The fact that you're even here, man, I appreciate it. You don't got to be here, but the fact that you are, hey, more power to you. Money is a god. Yeah, yeah. Money. A lot of things are gods to different people. Get worse until God substance. Yep. Oh, oops. My bad. Yeah, and that's the thing. See, I'm glad you brought that up, man. Um, that's it's funny that you bring that up because I know that's what some people use as an excuse. Like, oh, well, that pastor was caught doing this. We are not called to follow pastors, bro. Let me stop you right there. If you're one of those people who uses that, and I'm not talking to you, Brad, I'm talking about in general, and like I'm speaking in general terms. If anyone out there is someone who uses the excuse of, oh, I don't go to church or believe in that because the pastors have been found to do this and that with kids, we are not called to follow pastors, bro. Like, and if you're going to a church where that happens, all right, go to another church. because we're not called to follow man. We are not called to follow man. We're called to follow God. You know what I'm saying? Pray to God for him to guide you to a church that will like be preaching the word in spirit and truth. He will do that. He will take you to a church that is genuine in their pursuit and faith. You know what I mean? But people got to stop putting these excuses that, oh, because this happened and that. Shut up. Just shut up. Just say that you don't want to believe because you don't want to believe. Just, I would rather you tell me that versus you tell me, oh, that's why I don't go to church. Oh, that's why I don't believe in that. You know how many, listen, man, they screwed up they screwed up my father in a hospital. The nurses that took care of him when the last time he went, they screwed him up. Right now, his health is declining because of nurses, because of the malpractice of the people who are professionals, people who got their PhDs, who got their degrees. They got their degrees, and you know what I'm saying? The nurses and this, they're supposed to be professionals. They're supposed to do things correctly all the time. Guess what? They jacked up pops really, really bad. Do you think I say, oh, that's why I don't go to the hospital because they jack people up left and right? Which, by the way, it happens a lot more than you think. Way more than pastors and preachers that are found doing this and that. All right? I don't say that. I don't say, oh, I'm not gonna go to a hospital because they jack people up like left and right. No, these things happen. Unfortunately, they happen. But because they happen, it shouldn't be an excuse for me to like get a checkup. It shouldn't get in the way of me saying like go to a hospital and getting myself looked at. But people they want an excuse not to follow God. They want an excuse to like not trust a higher power, a higher being, like of their life. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, sorry. Yo. Oh man, Ryan says I was about to make it the. Oh man, you're good, bro. You're good. All them, it's a strange cover. Yeah, yeah. My bad. I'm behind reading these live chats. Yeah, things have been looking up. Just sharing stream on recapping. How can one of them? I'm glad you brought that up, man. Let me tell you this, Ryan. Go through go through any of the religions, right? Go read about them. Read about Buddhism. Read about any other religion you can find and think of, right? None of them, none of them, none of them exclusively say like, "Hey, this is the way to heaven. This is the way to, you know what I'm saying, to this is the only way to God. This is the only way, you know, to gain access to eternal life. This is the only way." And if and when you do find another religion that exclusively like pronounces that or announces that, read carefully between the lines of what are the ideals of that religion. When you compare it to the gospel, and you compare it to Christianity, and you see that Jesus Christ was the only one who said, I am the only way to the Heavenly Father. I am the only way to gain eternal life. I am the only way to gain access to eternal life. And you go through the teachings of Jesus and you go through the teachings that were left for us to follow. Every single teaching in the Bible, like word for word, not only is it like the most accurately, what do you call it, I forget the words, most accurate depiction of like morals and values and all that. But on top of that, it's like everything that is advised to do, if you study it carefully, it's like legit for the betterment of mankind in every single way, shape, and form, right? Like, I mean, think about it. Like, there's some scriptures in these other religions that is like, the person that they worship and they follow, you know, had relations with people that were a lot younger than him and stuff like that. The Bible is against that. The Bible, you know what I'm saying? So it's just that would be another conversation altogether. But just those little factors alone should give you like a big heads up of like why. Why is it that the gospel is the only truth? Um Help out, everything was blue. Yeah, I agree with that. In-depth study is the best answer. If you find a fallacy that is proven, then you know it's not. Yeah. And the thing is, Ryan, before you go, because I'm not even sure if you're like gonna stay or not, but answer me this: people who have testified that were a lot of them aren't even Christian. A lot of them weren't even of the faith, but a lot of them that were captured by quote unquote aliens, right? Um, oh no, Ryan, no, no. The other religions don't even care to claim that, because that's the thing, is that all the other religions, they don't care what you follow, as long as you are in the midst of confusion or in the midst of error, they're okay with that. But tell me this, tell me this: when someone is captured by an alien, right, or abducted by an alien, and a lot of them weren't even Christian or weren't even of the faith, right? But they called out to so many deities. They called out to Buddha. They called out to what's his face. They called out to so and so. They kept getting experimented on, right? But if you go through like most, if not all, of the testimonies, and you go through them, and you find that as soon as they mention the name of Jesus or the name of Jesus Christ, the aliens had no choice but to let them go. As I repeat, a lot of these people would cry out to different deities and different spirit masters and spirit guides and blah blah blah, religious figures, right? Mohammed, Buddha, whatever. And the aliens continue to experiment. They didn't care. It's like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know who that is. However, as soon as the abductee would mention the name of Jesus or Jesus Christ, the aliens would automatically let them go and say, "Oh, it's kind of like they were like terrified of hearing the name of Jesus or Jesus Christ," and they would let the people that the abducted go, and they would let them free, and they would want no part with that person. Tell me why that is, Ryan. And it's something you can look up for yourself. I'm not going to do that right now but that's something you could look up and investigate for on your own. Yeah, man. I look at it like the true religion is a candle in a room. What better way to take away from that candle than to put 1,000 others just like it in the room? If that makes that's one way of looking at it. That's a good way of looking at it. Um, let's read real, because I'm gonna try to end this at 9. But let's read some of the stuff about this show. Um, the American. Hold on. I don't think I found the. Yeah, I don't think I found hmm, the show that you were talking about, bro. I see like the Americans. Okay, I see it now. Okay, got it. Okay. All right, let's read some of this real quick. and let's see what it's about. This guy's showing that show. Timing. Well, let's see. Let's see if I can read this real quick and then go to your link. Let's see what this has to say real quick. Give me 1 second. Of course. Apologize. All right. So, can you see it? All right. I'm gonna read a little bit of this article and then we'll try to show a clip of it. Strange Angel is a television series created by Mark Heyman that premiered in 2018 and aired on CBS All Access. During its 2 seasons, it portrayed the story of the chemist, space engineer, and occultist Jack Parsons. Occultist. Occultist. Occultist Jack Parsons. Already, if you're someone who's into space and rocketry and all that, just know that the person who created the science behind building a rocket, a fully functional rocket and all that, was an occultist, a known occultist, not believed to be, not speculated to be, not, you know what I'm saying? No, he was an open occultist. So, anyways, this one started out as a janitor in the city of Los Angeles. However, his love for rockets and the occult made him constantly fantasize about reaching the stars. Here, Kendall plays Richard Onstead, one of the main characters during the first and second seasons. This is a friend and assistant of Jack Parsons in the series, so he's present during the development and testing of the rockets created by protagonist. Yeah, and this is something that Fallen World Films touched on so many times in the past. It was a known fact. It was not theory. It was not speculation. It wasn't opinion. It was a known fact that your boy Jack Parsons, if you believe in all that stuff about rocketry and all that stuff, he was a straight up stone cold open and just transparent occultist. The boy was doing rituals. Your boy was, you know what I'm saying, but he was doing blood rituals and chanting and all this other crap. All right. So you want to mock and make fun of like my faith and all that? Oh, because I believe in goodness and I believe in like, God healing people and I believe in doing the right thing and I believe in all this. Oh, okay. Hey, mock that all you want. If you're someone who's into rockets and spacecrafts and all that, your boy was, you know what I'm saying, trying to get demonically possessed. And he openly has stated this in the past before he died and all that. And it was discovered multiple times. It was known that he was doing sexual like rituals and all that. You know what I mean? So go ahead, make fun of me all you want, mock me all you want, but your boy is the craziest one in the room. Your boy, all right, Jack Parsons, was the one trying to do all this demonic stuff. So, hey, that's you. That's who you believe in. That's who you want to follow. That's who you want to promote and want to like praise and all that. Someone who's trying to consistently get demonically possessed. Same thing with Aleister Crowley. You know what I'm saying? Jack Parsons was the biggest fan of Aleister Crowley. He wanted to be the next Aleister Crowley. So, hey, that's who you believe in. Whether it be directly or indirectly, that's who you support. That's who you promote. So, you want to take jabs at me and my faith? Hey, go right ahead. If you do that, I will take jabs at you all day long because you believe and praise and, support someone who was consistently and constantly trying to get demonically possessed and was doing all these weird sexual like blood rituals. So you take jabs at me, I'm gonna take jabs at you. Simple as that. I don't care. All day long. Yeah, everyone knew about it. It wasn't a secret and nothing like that. He didn't care. He was openly. Matter of fact, he actually. I have to go back and read, but I think at some point he actually invited some people to join him. You know what I'm saying, on his endeavors or whatever. But anyways, let me try to see if I can't click the link that you shared earlier real quick. My bad. I feel like today has been a night of rants for no particular reason at all, but just because it just came out to be that way. So I apologize in advance for anyone who's like, what's up with him tonight? He's, you know what I'm saying, more animated than usual. I promise you, I did not prepare to act or talk like this tonight. It just so happens that my blood has been boiling over some of these topics, and I guess it was time to yeah, it was time to talk about it, right? So uh, let's see if I can click the link. Uh, Give me a second. All right, found. Oh yeah, okay. I love this guy and his channel. All right, I don't know that this is the one who put it out. My bad. This should be interesting. Um, all right. This is 21 minutes. I'll only play like half of it, only because I want to close things at around 9 p.m. tonight. So, but yeah, we'll definitely take a look at this real quick. Oops. Hold on. Okay. William says you can't let it out. I try not to, man. I'll be honest. I try not to because I don't want to scare anyone away. But yeah. All right. Let's see what Truth Talk has to say about this.
Taco.
Hey guys, Taco here.
In this episode, we will be talking about the TV show Strange Angel and how Hollywood put real rituals in this TV show. Let's get right into it. Chances are many of you have heard the dark stories of what takes place in Hollywood, the secret Hollywood parties, and the strange activities these celebrities partake in. In this show, Strange Angel, we get a look into what really goes on at these parties and in these celebrity homes. For those of you who don't know, the TV series Strange Angel is based on the true story of rocket chemist Jack Parsons, who played an important role in the development of space travel and the rocket ship. While Jack Parsons was considered a genius by most, he had a dark secret side to him that only very few knew about. Jack lived a double life. While he was working on rocket ships in his day job, by night he was an occultist who was a member of a secret society called Thelema, an organization created by no other than the infamous occultist Aleister Crowley. The TV series tells the story of how Jack Parsons uses the occult to help him develop the rocket ship. They also tell the story of how Jack discovered the cult organization called Thelema and eventually joined the group. After Jack joins Thelema, we see just what these occultists are really up to at these lodges. For those that haven't watched the show and are planning on watching after this, I just want to warn you, spoilers are ahead. And if you plan on watching the show, watch at your own discretion, as real rituals are shown throughout the show. The very first introduction to the cult in the show is when Jack discovered the cult doing a mock sacrifice ritual. The ritual was a sex magic ritual created by Crowley, which represents an offering to the deity Crowley's organization worshipped, Awis. According to Crowley, he created Thelema after joining the Order of the Golden Dawn. If you saw my last video on the secret societies that run the world, then you should already know the Order of the Golden Dawn was an organization created by high-degree Freemasons who wanted to dive even deeper into occult magic. Crowley claims that after joining the order and participating in their magic rituals, he was visited by a deity, a part of what occultists called the Secret Chiefs. This deity he called Awis, and Crowley claims that the deity used him to write the Book of the Law, making him a prophet. The Book of the Law is what led to Crowley creating Thelema, as it was essentially the Bible of his organization. Thelema ran off the principles of Crowley's credo, "Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law." which just basically means do whatever you want as you are your own God. Crowley taught self-worship just like Lucifer, and it's the reason he would go on to call himself the Great Beast 666. In many different parts of the series, we see the creators trying to paint the Lima as a misunderstood organization that was not evil but liberating. Just like we see from many TV shows, they always try to vilify the church and God, painting those who are religious as hypocrites. There are a few scenes that are very important that reveal a lot, but are made to go over some people's heads. The first scene I wanted to talk about was the scene in the 5th episode of the first season called Dance of the Earth. In this episode, Jack and his neighbor, who introduced Jack into the occult, go on a camping trip together. During this camping trip, Jack's neighbor gives him a substance to take that is taken as a ritual hallucinogen. After Jack takes the substance, he then goes on to have a vision where he goes to the moon and finds his dead father waiting for him. This is when it's revealed in the show that Jack's father, Marvel Parson, was an occultist who taught his son about ritual magic when he was only 6 years old. During this scene, they show Jack talking to his father about a game they used to play called How Many Miles to Babylon. This is when Jack reveals that he drew a pentagram on the ground and tried to summon the devil when he was only 6 years old. In this scene, Jack states that someone came into his room with what he thought was a devil mask, and he asked his father if it was him who pretended to be the devil that night. Jack's father told him no, letting Parsons know that he succeeded in summoning the devil. Jack's father then leads him to a dark cave in the direction of a spaceship. This scene is very revealing, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Jack was not talking to his father in this scene, but to the devil himself. His father represents Lucifer, and in this scene, we see Lucifer lead Jack to the spaceship. Jack Parson literally sold his soul to the devil to be able to develop the rocket ship. When Jack and his neighbor took the substance, they did it for ritual purposes in order to be able to interact with the spirit world. Jack got the idea of the spaceship directly from his visions. Throughout the show, we see just how Jack uses the Lima to achieve his goals of space travel. I believe this is one of the most important scenes in the show itself because it depicts Jack using the occult to come up with the idea of the spaceship.
So real quick, a few things I need to point out. If what you believe in, your faith, your belief, whatever, your religion is actively like giving you like drugs to take in order for you to have these like visions and all this other stuff. Number one, you're hurting your body. So if you follow a religion or a faith or a belief that is openly like telling you and showing you, hey, you got to take this to, understand this or get a better understanding of this and that, or, get visions or get blah, blah, blah. And it's like by you taking those drugs, you're hurting your body because let me tell you, I know a couple of people who have taken acid or LSD and have yet to come back from their trip. All right. So that's first things first. God, my God, the God that I serve would never and has never, not once, not even out of, no, has never, advised anyone to get high or take any type of drug that he knows that would harm the body. Matter of fact, quite the opposite. He says, stay sober. Stay sober, stay sober. And there's a whole verse behind that. You know what I'm saying? Him telling us like, hey, stay sober. You know what I mean? And by asking us to do that, he's just looking out for our body's well-being. In contrast to this, the religion that if you're someone who believes in scientism and rocketry and all that, your boy Jack Parsons was taking acid trips left and right, you know what I mean? And had it not been for the acid trip and other stuff in between, yeah, sure, he wouldn't have been able to like complete and like make the rocket. But again, it's hurting his body, and by the usage of that type of drug, who knows just how out of his mind he was, whether it be throughout the time that he was taking those drugs or, in general in his life. No one knows. But anyways,
itself. When he took this substance, it took him to a place that allowed him to see the spaceship. It took him to the place where he had this conversation with his father, who was truly the devil. And that right there should let people know that a lot of the things that these occultists come up with, they tell us themselves. They come up with it in a dream, or it comes to them in a vision. If you remember a few episodes back, we spoke about how Denzel Washington allows the spirits to enter him to be able to act out some of the scenes that he acts out.
It's definitely a very important point. That scene on the moon, extremely important. It solidified his belief in the cult, in that he can achieve all his dreams if he just follows the cult and their beliefs. And Crowley's whole thing about will, he can will it into existence. And you hear that theme expressed over and over and over again throughout the entire show. This particular scene just shows you, because he has this dream, he's on this substance, he's talking to the devil, and all of a sudden his question that he's been pounding his head over is answered: the design for a rocket.
I don't think it necessarily was a dream, but definitely a vision. And the way that he expresses having this vision seems very similar to how Aleister Crowley claims that he had the vision to come up with the book of the law and how he created the Lima. There's another part in the show later on where Crowley himself asks for Jack Parsons, like he summons Jack Parsons. And that lets you know right there that these people are interconnected. And we see how Jack Parsons ends up being this very important person in life. He is still remembered for his achievements. And not a lot of people know that he was actually within the occult. I'm pretty sure many of you didn't even know that the person that worked on the spaceship, that developed the first spaceship and the idea of the spaceship, was an occultist. It's also interesting to note that the whole space travel thing, I've covered the moon landing previously, and we saw how the Freemasons claim to have actually sent the Freemason flag to the moon with an occultist, a Freemason member, who traveled on the first ship.
I'm Joshua Poole, Museum Curator here at the Scottish Rite House of the Temple, Washington, D.C. Today it is my pleasure to be able to speak to you about the Scottish Rite flag that went to the moon in 1969. Knowing that Buzz Aldrin would be taking part in the Apollo 11 mission, the Supreme Council thought it would be nice if he could take something Masonic with him to infinity and beyond, because he was going where no man, or Mason for that matter, had ever gone before. See what I did there? The Supreme Council felt that a flag that represented the Supreme Council and Freemasonry in general would do the job. So the flag was hand-sewn by Inga Baum, who was the librarian of the Supreme Council in 1969. The flag itself is white silk. It is edged by a band of gold and embroidered with the words, the Supreme Council, 33rd degree, Southern Jurisdiction, USA, the Southern Jurisdiction motto, Deus me umque jus, the double-headed eagle, the crown of the 33rd degree, the insignia of the Grand Commander, and the insignia of a Master Mason. After the Apollo 11 mission on September 16, 1969, Buzz Aldrin visited the House of the Temple in Washington, D.C., and presented the flag to Grand Commander Luther Smith. Since then, the flag has remained in the custody of the House of the Temple's Archives and Museum Department. In an article about the Buzz Aldrin flag, the December 1969 issue of the New Age magazine,
That's nice.
the historical significance of the Apollo 11 mission and for Masonry were discussed. So, does the landing on the moon have anything to do with Masonry? I think this article put it nicely by ending with this quote: when man reaches new worlds, Masonry will be there.
That's as real as
this flag's presence during the historic lunar expedition symbolizes Masonry's universal appeal.
Man, I feel so bad.
Are you trying to get your faceless YouTube channel off the ground and grow it so that you can have some steady income coming in and maybe even
falls and is duped?
Masonry has been at the forefront of progress and human enlightenment.
All right, it is 9 o'clock though, and as much as I would love to keep watching this, this is a great video, by the way. Not the Freemason crap, but like this guy's channel. Forget the name. The Truth is a great channel. So if y'all want to look more into like that video or anything else on there, I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, I just feel bad for anyone who believes the moon landing and all that. Like, man, the things people will believe. If you believe that, you are not only gullible, you are extremely gullible and believe anything you see on TV, period. But anyways, and I don't say that to offend nobody or disrespect nobody. You know, I love every single one of you guys. I really do. But snap out of it. Snap out of it. Anyways, thanks for being here, every single one of you guys. I appreciate the love and support you always show me. William, Patty, Booth Pack 33, Dead Twist, Bryden, NV, well, Ryan from NV Cap. I know. Who else was all here earlier? Let's scroll way back. Lisa, VS Veronica. I know. Kodiak. I'm Carlos. Man, I don't think I can see everyone that was here earlier. But if I missed anyone, hey, I want to let you know that I really do appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are always great. You're the greatest crowd of support that I would ever imagine or can even ask for. But anyways, that being said, y'all stay safe and blessed out there. And until next time, JDQ Vision Ivy TV out.